welcome to this knitting podcast. This is already episode 2. I did one a month ago and I thought I'd update you on everything I finished and my works in progress and some of my plans for this next month. So come along and I'll show you. So a quick introduction. My name is Anne-Fleur, or Anne for short. I'm a 21-year-old knitter and sewist from the Netherlands, or maybe creative is a better word to describe me, because I like all things creative. So a creative from the Netherlands. And I'm also a student. I study theology and I'm in my last year, so I hope to finish that this year. And for what I'm wearing, I'm of course wearing one of my knits. This is the Jenny Jacket V-neck by Testknit, and I did this in a lovely navy color by Sadness Garn, and I don't know which mohair I used. It doesn't matter really. It's very hairy and it sheds a lot, so it's not my favorite mohair. And I use these wooden buttons, which I think are lovely. So that's what I'm wearing, and it's perfect because it's quite cold here in the Netherlands. It's around 10 degrees Celsius, which is cold for this time of year in the Netherlands. So I love to wear knits right now. So let's get straight into it. My finished objects. I have 3. Which is a lot for me for a month. So I'll show you. Firstly, these mittens. They are a Testknit for Atelier.annae, and I saw them on my Instagram and I thought I have to apply to this Testknit, and luckily I got chosen. I made them in a size L. They're called the Sunday mittens, but they're not out yet. But they are these lovely chunky mittens with a cabled structure and a thumb. You can fold them over so you have like even a more chunky look. I do love them this way because I can just put them in my jacket and I don't feel any cold. And in my last podcast I said I wouldn't need mittens anytime soon, but I lied, or I was mistaken. For my work, I work in the elderly care. I always go by bike and it's like a 20-minute ride, but it's so cold on the bike that my hands are like frozen when I get to my first address. So these are actually perfect because now I can wear mittens and have warm hands when I arrive at my first client. And I am thinking of maybe adding some fabric on the inside, so I guess I should say lining. So I have extra warm mittens and no wind can get through. But I guess I just have to think about that. So these are the Sunday mittens by Atelier.annae. I'll just put them on both so you can see. Lovely, right? Chunky, soft, a bliss. Okay, next up. I already talked about this one in my last video. This is the Mono Swirly Wave Scarf by Monoknit Editions, and I showed you this one last time. I knit it in Cardiff Cashmere Classic, but I made a tiny mistake through the entire pattern, so it's not correct. And so I bought some extra yarn, more Cardiff Cashmere Classic, and I remade it. And I don't know if you can see, but it looks quite different from this one. And that's because of the mistake I made. So I'll put them together, hopefully you can see them. Otherwise I'll put in a clip. Looks quite different, right? And I do love both of them. So they're just a lovely scarf to just wrap around and just keep me warm for this autumn. For winter I do need more scarf, but for autumn it's perfect. It's perfect for this kind of frosty-like weather. So that's the Mono Swirly Wave Scarf by Mono Knit Editions with this lovely cabled pattern, and it's so soft. It's unbelievably soft, but that's just the Cardiff Cashmere Classic, I guess. It's so soft and I love it. Okay, on to my third finished object. It was a whip in my last video, in my last podcast, and it's finished right now. So I'll show you. It's the Braidy loop sweater by Other Loops, and I'll put in a clip of me wearing it. It's this lovely, it has two lovely cables that go from one sleeve all the way over the back to the other sleeve, and it's very, very soft. I used Drops Norse, which is a alpaca wool and polyamide blend, and I used Drops Kit Silk, but I already mentioned this in my last video. It's shedding a lot, like a lot, only by just having this on my lap right now. I'm already covered in fiber, so not loving that, because every time I go somewhere I leave a trail. So I'll have to think of something to fix that. Maybe depil it with a shaver or something, I don't know. It is very soft though, and I've lived in it the last couple of days since I finished it, and so it is lovely for winter and autumn. Next up are my whips, and I talked about my plans in my last video, and I did stick to my plans, but I also diverted from my plans, so you'll just have to see. Okay, first up, and this is my most active whip right now, is the Pamina cardigan by Gregoria Fibers. This is her newest pattern, and I just joined in the rounds. It's this lovely saddle shoulder construction. I'll just show you, and it has this all over cabled construction, and I just love it. I was inspired by the Knitting French on Instagram. She knitted it in a merino by Knitting for Olive, I believe, and it just looked so neat and finished and polished and just store-bought, I guess, and I loved that look. So I searched for a merino and came across Drops Merino Extra Fine. It's just their darkest brown extra fine merino, and I'm loving it so far. I couldn't get gauge with this yarn though. It has more rows and more stitches than the gauge. No, I'm saying it wrong. It has less rows and less stitches than the gauge says, so it's bigger. Am I saying that correctly? I don't know. Anyways, my gauge is bigger than it should be, so I'm getting a bigger garment than I want, and that's no problem for me because I do want a oversized cardigan. So I'm knitting a size 3, and I guess it will fit as a size 4. I did the math, and it will probably have the measurements of a size 4, but I knit a size 3. So I do love this knit. It's very engaging because you just want to get to the next cable row and then to the next cable row, so it's addicting and you do not want to stop when you start. So just a warning. So that is the Pamina cardigan by Gregoria Fibers, which I love so far. So next up is the Shoreline sweater by Ozetta. And in my last podcast I told you that I hated this sweater that I also knit from Ozetta. I do love the pattern, that's beside that, I love the pattern, but I do not love the way I knitted it. My stitches are very tight, they are twisted. The entire sweater is knit up in twisted stitches and I do not love that look. It's very stiff because of it, and I've never worn it in the last 2 years. So I frogged it, and I said I would frog it entirely and then just wash it to relax the stitches, but I did not. I'm a bit stubborn and I just frogged and knit. So while I'm frogging this sweater, I'm also knitting the new sweater. And by only frogging the cuff, which is only this tiny part, I knit one saddle shoulder for the Shoreline sweater, and as you can see, it's already way more relaxed than this other sweater I knit. So I'm really happy with the choice I made to frog this sweater and re-knit it. It's also a slightly different color, which I think is weird. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but I'm thinking that's also because of how more relaxed the stitches are in this pattern than they are in this pattern. So this will be the Shoreline sweater by Ozetta, and I haven't knit much on it the last month. I did make this swatch, which is also one of the saddle shoulders, and I will probably work on it again when I finish one of my other whips that I want to finish first. So this is the Shoreline sweater by Ozetta. Next up, I've already shown you this in my last podcast, so I won't talk long about it. It's the Dagmar jacket by Testknit, and I finished the body and one sleeve, and I love the color. But after finishing one sleeve, I always get in some sort of rut, I guess. I do not want to finish it because this sleeve alone took so much time, and I loved to knit it, but I just needed a quick break. So when I finish one of my other whips, I will finish the other sleeve. It's just one more sleeve, but I just have to get to it and just get started, and then when I get started, I'll get motivated to finish it. So that's the thing, I just have to get started, and I do want to finish it. So I guess I'm going to pick up stitches soon, so I will finish it. Just some close-ups. It is lovely though. It's very, very lovely. I also love the color combination of my Braidy loop sweater with this green. Is that weird? And then maybe add a scarf like my Moni Swirly wave scarf. This color combination is like it really tickles my brain. It's pretty. So that gives me some motivation to finish the Dagmar jackets. Okay, and lastly for whips. This isn't my last whip, but it is the last whip I will talk about. I have a ton of whips, but some are... I just laid some aside for summer and for later, because knit for summer, I'm not motivated to knit for summer right now, so I'll just finish them next summer. And I have some whips I'm not motivated by, like socks. I do love socks, knitted socks and how they look, but once I finish one sock, I'm not motivated to knit another because it's exactly the same and my brain just can't handle it. So I laid that one sock aside and I'll just finish it when I get motivated again, and I hope that is anytime soon. So I'll just keep you updated. Okay, my last whip. It's the North Shore beanie by Ozera, and this is the chunky edition. I'm knitting it in drops daisy and drops alpaca. Is it mohair or silk? I don't know. It's the chunky mohair edition, I guess. And these are both scrap yarns from my Levida wrap cardigan I knitted last year. I gave that one away because it didn't fit me right. So, but I still had some yarn left over, and I thought I'd knit a beanie for one of my friends. She has exactly this eye color, and I thought it would look great on her. So I'm knitting on and off on this. Not actively knitting on this, just when I have time and when I want to do some mindless knitting, because I have a lot of cable knitting right now. But when I want to do some mindless knitting, I just pick up this knit and get some rows done. So I hope to finish that sometime soon, because she's going on a travel trip to South Africa and it can get cold there during the nights. So I thought I'd finish it for her before that, so she can bring it with her. So those were all my whips. Now onto my knitting plans. My plans are basically finishing the whips I already have, because I do have a lot of whips and my mind gets clouded when I have too many whips. So I do want to finish some of them, but I also want to cast on something new. Not anytime soon, but when I finish one of those other whips, I want to cast on a new whip. And I'll just show you the yarn I'm using for that. So I just had to grab my yarn quickly. So my first plan is to cast on the Cloud Sweater by Testknit. And I thrifted this yarn for that. It's Martine BBB, made in Italy. I've searched for it on the internet and it is for sale in some places. It's not very popular, but it's just a lovely aubergine color merino. And I found the perfect combination of mohair, which is the Dropskid silk. I believe the color is called wine. It's, let me see what the tag says. Color 71, if you want to search for it. It's one of their new mohair colors, but it's just the perfect match for this merino. So I'm really excited to cast on the cloud sweater. And I do want to cast on the cloud sweater because I want to have a mindless knit. As I said before, I have 3 knits with cables. And I do love cables, but sometimes they can get really intense and you just have to focus very much. And I just want a mindless knit. So the cloud sweater is perfect for that. Okay, one other thing is I'm doing another test knit for Mono Knit Editions, and it will be a sweater, but my yarn has not arrived yet. It just will be this bright red yarn. I'll put it up on the screen. I ordered some other yarn, but it just wasn't the right color red. It was more like a raspberry color, and I did not love that. I wanted a bright red, just a palette cleanser, because I'm all for natural colors, but I wanted a color that would be just a pop of color in winter. So I ordered another yarn, and it's Drops Charisma in the bright red, and I'll put it up on the screen so you can see. So I'm hoping that's the correct color red, and otherwise I'll send it back. And I have one more option, and it will be Drops Daisy. I saw that on Instagram with someone else, and she used Drops Daisy in that bright red color, and it was bright red, and I want that. So if Drops Charisma isn't it, I will order that yarn, Drops Daisy. So I'll just keep you updated for that. And if you want updates on my knits, I post regularly on Instagram with whip updates and plans I want to make and things I want to make. And so if you want to see more of that, you can follow me on Instagram at Atelier.annae. Okay, so that was all for my knitting. If you were only here for my knitting, then thank you so much for being here. I'll just shortly talk about my sewing and one finished object of sewing and plans I have for sewing. So if you were only here for knitting, thank you so much for being here. And if you are also here for the sewing stuff, then let's get into it. Firstly, this is the Celine blouse by Silver Saga Patterns. I sewed it in this lovely gingham, green and black gingham from Vulcan Fiber Fabrics, and I'm in love with this pattern. It's quite complicated. I wouldn't say it's beginner friendly, but I managed to sew it as a beginner, and I added some different sleeves. These are actually sleeves from Atelier.annae with tucks. I love tucks, and I just had to add them to this blouse, also because they're a bit longer and I can wear it this fall. I did make it a bit too short though. I talk in depth about this in my fiber vlog, my last fiber vlog, but I'll just summarize what I said there. I made it a bit too short. I didn't adjust the length for my body. It's made for a body with a 1.65 length, and I'm a 1.73, so basically it's 8 centimeters too short. And I've noticed that, but also I can still tuck it in with my high-waisted jeans, so I'm not really bothered by it. If I make it again, and I think I will, I'll make it longer and more wearable for me and my taller body. So that's the Celine blouse. Oh, also, one problem I have with this pattern is the bias facing. As you can see, it's popping out, so it's turning inside out, and that makes it look a bit weird, and I do not know what I did wrong there. So if you have made this pattern and have any tips, please let me know, because if I make it again, I don't want to make that mistake again. So that's all for my finished objects on sewing. Please stay. Yes. I do have two things I want to make. I want to make the Samora skirt. I already talked about that in my last knitting podcast, so if you want to see me talk about that in depth, you have to watch that. And I got this lovely linen, and I'll just have to grab it real quick. I'm back. Okay, this is also linen from Folk and Fiber Fabrics, and it's their off-white color. I chose white first, but I don't like bright whites, so I found this off-white linen, and I love the texture of it. I already made a dress with this, but then in their light blue color, so I know it will look great, and I'm curious to see how it will look as a skirt. And as I said, it will be the Samora skirt, and I think I will get started on that today, and you will see the entire process in my next fiber vlog. So if you want to see the process, stay tuned. And the next thing I want to talk about is I want to make a bag, protection bag for my iPad. My iPad is already very broken. It's like the screen is shattered. I'll just show you. When I say shattered, I mean shattered. Look. It's completely broken. So, and I do not want it to get broken anymore. So I'm making a protection bag for it. I ordered some fiber fill, and I have some scrap fabric, so I'll make that soon, and I will also talk about that in my next fiber vlog, so you'll just have to stay tuned, I guess. So that's all for sewing. I do have more sewing plans, but not for this next month. I guess this will be the end of the year. So that's all for now. I do want to show you one more thing, and it's not knitting and sewing related, but I just wanted to show you. One of my other hobbies is drawing and painting, and it has been a while since I did that, but our childhood dog recently died. He was hit by a car and we had to let him go, which is very sad, and it also makes me very sad. I just hope he's running around somewhere on some beach, because he loved running around on the beach. And I made a little painting of him running around on the beach, so I just want to show you. I hope it doesn't reflect on the glass of the frame. This was Mike, our dog. So now I can see him every day. on the painting I made. So I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments or questions, please ask them or comment in the comments below. And yeah, I like doing this. I love filming also. That's also one of my hobbies. I have a lot of hobbies. So this is a great way for me to film and make movies, little movies and little films, videos, how you like to call it, and share it with you guys. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you for watching, and until next time, bye.